Nothing like waking up in the morning feeling refreshed and the storm clouds are all gone. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, and everything is beautiful again. I am no longer feeling shady and it's a good thing too because I have a beautiful route planned for today. So, the first thing that awaits me is this magnificent traverse across a river. This is Kokong province and it is jungle and mountain and big river country. Sadly, a lot of the jungle is missing now, but you still get a real sense of awe just from the rivers like this. So here is today's route. You can see that I am in the far west of Cambodia, and today I am starting at the southern end of that blue line, and I am going to be tracing right along the Thai border. Now, over breakfast this morning, I got chatting to a Khmer family, and we started talking about our various destinations for the day. They said they were going to Pramawi, which is exactly where I am going to. However, they will be taking the more developed eastern route, whereas they warned me that the road I will be taking today, the one along the west, right along the border with Thailand, they warned me that this road is very bad. When I am in the mood for dirt biking, this is exactly what I like to hear. They told me that the road which I am about to follow was only cut in 2011 by the Cambodian military, and it hasn't really been maintained or developed since. All of this sounds absolutely excellent to me, and I am very happy when only 5 minutes out of town I find the road turning to red clay before me. In spite of the torrential rain the night before, I find the road in pretty good condition. It's really dried out nicely, even with just a couple of hours of sunshine on it. The movement of water has scored deep ruts in the road, and I need to keep an eye out for them. But overall, the road condition is pretty good, and I can maintain a very pleasing clip. I am also thrilled to announce that I am almost at peace with my luggage setup. I don't feel like it's all going to fall off or throw me completely off balance every time I hit a bump. It's far from perfect, but I'll take whatever gains I can get. So things get pretty remote pretty quickly. There are no villages here, just the odd house or shop dotted along the roadside. To my right, I have that magnificent river, and ahead of me, I have about 80 kilometers of lovely, lovely dirt. Now, the weather forecast and my common sense tells me that rain is going to fall again this afternoon, and I calculate that I have maybe 2 or 3 hours of good weather up my sleeve before I have to deal with the heavens opening. I am pretty keen to get through this dirt section before that happens. Now, as the road gets rougher, I am up on the pegs almost all the time, and unfortunately that means that the camera angle is suboptimal. You just get an excellent view of my safari tank. And you don't get to see the magnificent spread of the Cardamom Mountains out to my right. But perhaps you can still imagine what's going through my head right now. And that is essentially very little. I am thinking, watch your line, look out for the ruts. Isn't the weather lovely? Look at this beautiful road, and it's good to be alive. Compared to the usual stuff going on in my head, this is basically silence. Yes, it is peace and serenity. Just the way I like to get it. And then, for no reason at all, I start thinking about the coconut crab. The coconut crab is the largest arthropod in the world. It's about 1 meter across sometimes, and it looks suspiciously like the gigantic spider of your nightmares. I know it's a crab, I know it's not a spider, but really, sincerely, I don't ever want to meet one. See the random stuff that goes through my head? Anyway, I am pleased to notice that my energy levels are pretty good today. I even had some breakfast. I had an omelette, some nice protein to keep me going all day. This probably doesn't sound like anything to write home about, but to be honest, when I'm traveling, sometimes I just get overexcited and I kind of forget to eat. That in turn is obviously kryptonite for your energy levels, for your concentration levels, and it's bad news all round. So I need to be more mindful about making sure that I fuel my body properly. Because ultimately, if you don't eat, you can't ride, and if you can't ride, then life is no fun. Speaking of fun, I know that I'm having a pretty good time because I've already managed to smash myself in the face with my windscreen at least twice. This usually happens when I hit a really big bump and I'm standing up on the pegs and leaning forward into the momentum of the bike. I don't understand people who put rally towers on their bikes when they don't do rallies. From my perspective, it seems like it's adding extra weight, you can't see your front wheel, and of course, getting smashed in the face by your rally tower must be that much worse. But perhaps this is just a sign that my riding stance is too flexible. I've already been in Cambodia for 2.5 weeks now, and I can't believe how quickly the time has passed. But on the other hand, I feel like only now am I really getting back into the swing of things. Back into the swing of traveling every day, riding every day, always moving on, just me and my bike together. I can feel that old sense of peace seeping back into me. But this time it's not a completely open-ended sensation because I know that I have to fly back to Thailand in a little more than 10 days. I have a really happy reason to be doing this, the happy reason being that I have a tour booked, and so I will be heading back to Chiang Mai to show an eager customer my favorite trails up through the mountains in Chiang Mai province. This is super exciting. It will be my first official tour for the new business. I am so looking forward to meeting my tour customer and having an absolutely rad time out there. On the trails, on the enduro bikes, in those beautiful mountains. Now, like I said, I knew that I only had a few good hours of sunshine before the storms rolled back in, and here they are, getting ready to dump rain on my head at any moment. I was riding along so close to the Thai border that my mapping application thought that I was actually in Thailand, and momentarily my navigation stopped working because I hadn't downloaded the Southern Thai maps. This is a complication I had not anticipated before, and it turns out if you are going to ride along a border area, it's probably not a bad idea to download the maps for both sides of the border, because if you don't, your GPS navigation could abort mission on you. Having said that, I didn't really have a problem because there was only one road. I could hardly get lost. However, from time to time, I would see smaller roads leading off to my left, occasionally with a tiny flag and a very inadequate looking wooden boom gate. These roads lead to Thailand, and for a moment I couldn't help but consider how easy it would be just to ride my bike on in. Of course I didn't do that because that would be completely illegal and I wouldn't do any such thing. Instead, I continued my journey into the storm clouds here in Cambodia. Now, there was only one section which made me a little bit uncomfortable, and that was this one. Rain had fallen just before I got there, and so not only was the ground uneven and rutted, but it was also as slippery as can be. This is how I talk to myself when I am riding on my own. Anyway, the rain started to fall, but my timing was really good. I rolled into a little border village just as the rain started to get serious. But look around and see that there is razor wire everywhere and all the writing is in Chinese. What is going on here? Why are there big multi-story buildings in the absolute middle of nowhere? High walls, razor wire on both sides. What kind of a place is this? I heard later that there is a Chinese casino in this area, but to me this looked more like a prison camp. I am still really not quite sure what is going on here. If anyone knows, leave me a comment because I would love to be enlightened. However, it's not a very big development. Soon I come out the other side and I find a lovely little cafe beside the road run by Khmer people with no razor wire going on at all. It turned out that the cafe's owners were off-road enthusiasts and they like to go four-wheel driving in the rainy season. They showed me some footage from their latest escapades and it looked like some very, very muddy fun. They also told me that they do sort of charitable missions in the rainy season when many of the remote villages out there are cut off from road access with ordinary vehicles. So they go out there with their winches and their 4x4s and they make a weekend of it and they take food and medical supplies out to these remote places. So I thought that was pretty cool. Another lovely and random meeting on the road. I sat in the cafe nursing my coffee and watching the rain thunder down for about an hour before the skies dried up and I continued on my way. From this point on, I was on Route 55 all the way into Pramaui. This is a lovely sealed road which takes you up a mountain and down the other side in a series of delightful switchbacks. By the time I arrived in Pramaui, I was definitely ready for a rest. So let me show you how I find accommodation. Step 1, feel tired. Step 2, ride along. Step 3, see a sign that says guest house and rock on up. Voila, shelter acquired. Alright, stay chilled, stay happy, and I will catch you later.